Hello, everyone. My name is Audrey McCann, and my pronouns are she or they. I'm a member of Live Oak UU down in Cedar Park, and I'm also a seminarian currently training for ministry. So very thankful to Reverend Jamie for giving me the opportunity. The piano music you just heard is your signal to settle into your seats and prepare for the start of our worship service. Before we begin, a few quick announcements. One, be sure to check your Sunday handout. And then right after the service, we're going to do a peace pole dedication led by the social justice team. So we're going to skip coffee for a little bit and just go out the front door straight out to the peace pole, which is out at the corner. And then after the dedication, there is a lay leader training in the fellowship hall. And anyone who is serving on the Sunday service lay leader team or considering doing so, or just wants to learn more, is welcome to attend the lay leader tip and training session right after the dedication. It will be held in the fellowship house at the back of the church property and led by Corinna. Some snacks and beverages will be provided, and you can also bring your coffee and snacks from coffee time, or you can bring a bag lunch. Let us now begin.
Good morning, and welcome to San Gabriel Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Whether you are here in the sanctuary or watching us from home, we are so glad you're here. My name is Diane Dancer, and I've been hanging around here since about 2015. So lots has happened, a lot of memories, a lot of good times, and many more to come. San Gabriel is a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association. There are over 1,000 UU congregations in the United States. All of us together are working for a just, peaceful, and sustainable world. If you would like to know more about us and learn about upcoming events, please go to our website and sign up for our newsletter. Also would like to point out, if you look in the seat in front of you, we have these welcome visitor forms. So for any visitors that are here, we really would appreciate you taking a moment to fill it out. You can put it in the collection plate when it's passed around so that we can keep in touch with you. Please know that whoever you are, wherever you are from, whomever you love, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. All right, we are now going to greet the day in song. Our opening hymn, number 118 in the gray hymnal, This Little Light of Mine, and the lyrics will also be projected. Please rise in body or in spirit as you are able. We're going to do 3 verses.
As we light our chalice, we create sacred space together. Let's light our chalice and reflect on these words from Deborah Folk. The chalice lit among us is a beacon of hope in a world of crisis, a beacon of possibility made manifest in community. a beacon of warmth through our interconnections, a beacon of light illuminating our shared wisdom, and a beacon of connection by being together. Today's reading is an excerpt from Where Do We Go From Here, a speech given by the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. at the 10th annual session of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference in '67. Let this affirmation be our ringing cry. It will give us the courage to face the uncertainties of the future. It will give our tired feet new strength as we continue our forward stride toward the city of freedom. When our days become dreary with low hovering clouds of despair, and when our nights become darker than 1,000 midnights, let us remember that there is a creative force in this universe working to pull down the gigantic mountains of evil, a power that is able to make a way out of no way and transform dark yesterdays into bright tomorrows. Let us realize that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. And this is Corinna. This is your Wonderbox time.
Come on forward if you'd like, as we use our wondering minds to help each other learn and grow. We like to hear each other's guesses as to what might be in our wonder box today. So I'm going to shake it to give us some clues. And you can shout out what you might think is in here based on what this sounds like. Hospitality team, the folks who make coffee are looking for helpers, so they're hoping there's some names in here. Any other guesses as to what might, a book? A book? A little book? Any other guesses? You know, some things in life are beyond human understanding and will always remain a mystery, but not what's in this wonder box. So should we open it up and see? Yeah. Okay, so what is this thing? A dove, a white bird. What does that make you think of when you see a lot of people just say it's a symbol, right? And a symbol is a way that we look at something and without even having to use words, we know exactly what it means. And this is an example of a white dove with a very long tail. That means that a lot of us associate with peace. So let's see if our story today has something to do with peace.
Somewhere Today, a Book of Peace, written by Shelley Moore Thomas, photographs by Eric Futrin. Published by Albert Whitman Prairie Books. Somewhere today, someone is being a friend instead of fighting. Somewhere today, someone is caring for a child so she won't get sick. Somewhere today, someone is joining a friend's celebration. Somewhere today, someone is teaching his little sister to ride a bike. Somewhere today, someone is getting a letter from far away. Somewhere today, someone is visiting a friend who is old. Somewhere today, someone is planting a tree where one was cut down. Somewhere today, someone is fixing old toys to give to new friends. Somewhere today, someone is learning to do things a different way. Somewhere today, someone is learning about peace and thinking about making the world a better place. Maybe it is you. The end.
So we all read that book together, so I think that's all of us, right? We are all thinking about it today. And what I really enjoyed about that book is that it describes peace as things that we do, as an action, things that we choose to do for others, and very intentional. It's not just a feeling necessarily, but something that we can create together. And I'm excited for our Peace Pole dedication that will kind of show, just in the same way that we have a bird that symbolizes peace, we will have a very explicit symbol of peace on our church grounds for those who drive by to know and learn about us. And so I'm looking forward to that. And we have at the back, for anybody who likes to keep their hands busy while they're listening, some different coloring sheets about peace and what we could do as a gift of peace. All right.
Well, let's try this. A little bit of a height difference. Before I get started with my sermon, I actually based it off of a song, so I'm going to sing it. It is I Am Willing by Holly Near. Some of you may know it. She's been a popular folk artist for decades, and we also sang it this year at GA. So feel free to sing along with me. I'm mostly singing it so you understand the lyrics, because I'm going to refer to them later. I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. There is a hurting in my family, and there is sorrow in my town. There is panic all across the nation, and there is wailing the whole world around. But I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. I think it was supposed to go up a key. We're good? We're good? May children see more clearly, and may the elders be more wise. May the winds of change caress us, even though they burn our eyes. But I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. Give me a mighty yoke to hold my confusion, and give me a desert to hold my fears, and give me a sunset to hold my wonder, and give me an ocean to hold my tears, but I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. Thank you. I want y'all to know, I threw this on Joe kind of at the last minute, and he still came up with that accompaniment. Isn't that amazing? Let's give it up for Joe. That was wonderful. All right. So with those words in mind, I'm going to get started. It's triple digits outside, or it will be later today, I suppose. The sea levels are rising. Children hide behind bulletproof backpacks. Families at the border endure forced famine. Our faith communities face attacks. The fear and the misery and the grief seem endless, but are they really? Sit for a moment with the sensation in your stomach right now. Notice any anxiety. Notice any tightness in your chest, maybe uneasy hands. Give these responses of anxiety a moment of recognition, and then take a deep breath with me. And take one more, but this time inhale really slowly and hold it just for a moment at the top, and then exhale. Now, sit for a moment with these new sensations in your body. Notice the stillness. Notice the relaxing muscles. Notice the steadying breath. What we just did was acknowledge our natural and normal responses to stress. We allowed them to take the stage in our thoughts for just a brief moment, and then we bid them well and let them go. And we came back into our bodies. Because our bodies are what is needed to remain open and willing to carry forward the light of change. Every day we face troubles, but we can also find triumphs. Each day we see oppression, but we can also see opportunity. Each day we feel fear, but we can also feel free. The grief in our country, our communities, our congregations, our cores, it's all very real and reasonable. It deserves to be recognized and validated. Your worries are not overreactions. They are signs of an alive, compassionate human. If we allow ourselves to be consumed by them, however, we can fall prey to fear and bitterness. We can forget who we are. Who here, maybe parent, grandparent, has seen Moana, the Disney movie? All right. For those of you who haven't, no worries. There is a synopsis on the way. Moana is a soon-to-be chieftain of her island in the Pacific Ocean when disaster suddenly strikes. Plague and famine reach her home, and her wise but wild grandmother charges her with fixing a supernatural wrong from the past to make her present world right and to save her people. You see, when a demigod stole the heart from Te Fiti, the goddess of creation, she became bitter and cruel and unrecognizable. As a result of this, the islands in the Pacific were quickly consumed by darkness, while Te Fiti's physical form morphed into that of the deadly and powerful lava demon named Te Ka. In order to save her people, Moana bravely faces Te Ka with the intention of returning the heart. And to do this, she recognizes the goddess hidden underneath the molten rock by singing words of affirmation. And this is Moana singing. I know your name. They have stolen the heart from inside you, but this does not define you. This is not who you are. You know who you are. This affirmation validated the pain that Te Fiti felt from her heart being stolen, but it also empowered the goddess to be true to herself. We cannot help others when we are hurting ourselves. Even the goddess of creation became a force of destruction due to her pain. We are responsible for taking care of ourselves and one another in community. We must find a middle ground between what holds us back and what pushes us forward. This means limiting our fears and empowering our hopes, and that makes both of them more realistic. One of the best examples I know of that gracefully balances the realism of suffering with the necessity of hope is found in the New Testament of the Christian Bible. In a collection of sayings and proverbs called the Sermon on the Mount, the Apostle Matthew wrote about Jesus correcting the false teachings perpetuated by other religious leaders of his day. He believed that these strict and legalistic interpretations of their sacred text completely missed their God's heart. Toward the beginning of this section is what's often referred to as the Beatitudes. I'm sure many of us may be familiar with them. That word doesn't appear anywhere in the original Greek, though. The Latin noun beatitudo was coined by Cicero to describe a state of blessedness, since that's basically what the verses are saying. Jesus was blessing and assuring the broken, hurting Jews who were hungry and exploited that they would one day get to experience the divine goodness of what he called the kingdom of God on earth. The verses come from the book of Matthew, chapter 5. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the sons of God. And blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. What a way to end that. What a profound bow on this gift of a blessing to his people. Those who stick to their values will find peace. Theodore Parker, a 19th century Unitarian minister, gave a sermon in 1841 that I think would ring true for a lot of us in 2023. Here is a well-quoted excerpt that I encourage you to use your Universal UU translator for if God is not an apt descriptor for your experiences. Never violate the sacredness of your individual self-respect. Be true to your own mind and conscience, your heart and your soul. So only can you be true to God. The sacredness of self-respect. That means that our authenticity is holy. Whether we're playful or shy or black or creative or queer or Latina or fiery, each of these make up who we are, and they encapsulate our authentic selves. It's how we stay true to ourselves and all that we hold sacred. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness. Blessed are those who are fined for feeding their houseless neighbors, who receive threats because they reported the truth on politically inconvenient matters, who are arrested because they dared to doll themselves up in drag to make people smile and laugh, who are fired for teaching children science and history and art, who are overworked because of immoral wages, and who are honestly just tired because of incessant threats to justice and democracy. Blessed are they, for they will see the kingdom of God. This here is both a blessing and a benediction. Here, I personally interpret see as seeing it through. It's a reminder of one's own inherent worth and dignity, but also a call to action to bring equity and love into the world. When you imagine what some would call the kingdom of God, a piece of goodness and peace and love, what do you think of? And what would it look like to bring aspects of that into our everyday lives? That vision is what should be our guiding star. That is the light of change Holly Near sang about. That is the arc of the moral universe Dr. King spoke about. That is justice, equity, and compassion in human relationships. That is peace, liberty, and justice for all. You just keep reading the list of UUA principles all the way down and it works, honestly. It's almost like our pluralist faith pulls inspiration from a swath of spiritual wisdom, which includes the affirmation from Moana, and it includes the blessing of Jesus from Nazareth. And it includes the direct lived experiences that we each hold. The song I sang earlier, I Am Willing by Holly Near, is about holding our pain in one hand and our possibilities in another. Because to be hopeless would be so strange, so incongruent. It would go against our UU principles to believe that nothing better is possible. It wouldn't even be logical or realistic, no matter what sensationalist media and our anxieties tell us. The first verse is about being honest about the struggles and pain we're facing. We must toss away toxic positivity, denial, and stoic extremism. Our responses to trauma are not illogical, they're not pessimistic, and they're not weak. They're human. Instead of casting these beautifully human expressions aside, we must make room for us to mourn in community. We must protect our sacred spaces and share joys and concerns. This also means the most privileged among us must know when to decenter ourselves and to wholeheartedly listen to the voices of those usually pushed to the margins. The second verse of the song creates goals of betterment so we, both individually and as a beloved community, can keep our hearts open and willing. What are my personal blind spots? What are my personal strengths? This means deconstructing harmful biases. This means having conversation more often in brave spaces rather than safe spaces. This means calling out our loved ones and ourselves for causing or supporting harm. Facing these realities is difficult, but it's vital for growth and healing. The winds of change may burn our eyes, but they are what spread the seeds of love and justice for us to sow. That poetic final verse is about finding healthy ways to process pain and grief while continuing the work. Give me a mighty oak to hold my confusion. The strong trunk of the oak keeps us grounded in wisdom. What helps you feel grounded and secure in the face of vast uncertainty? What is your oak tree? Give me a desert to hold my fears. Many traditions and theologies believe that the solitude of the desert allows us to find meaning, clarity, and purpose when we feel lost. What helps remind you of your purpose with clarity and resilience? What is your desert? Give me a sunset to hold my wonder. In many cultures, the setting sun signifies the completion of a day's work. Each day, it invites us to let go of the past and prepare to rest, for the work that dawn brings is coming eventually. What helps you let go of the what-ifs and recognize when you need to turn the page? What is your sunset? Finally, give me an ocean to hold my tears. The ocean is often seen as a symbol of stability, as it has been there from the very beginning moments of our reality. Its reliable currents offer us a flow and depth that are currently, I guess I should say, beyond human comprehension. What helps you respect and experience the flow of emotions without being swept away? What is your ocean? I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. Those in our past who handed us the fiery torch of change, they knew their work was incomplete, and they entrusted us to continue the struggle. When our time comes, our work will be incomplete. This work requires perseverance. It requires self-compassion, and it requires hope. In order to move forward with the light of change, we must care for ourselves and care for each other. Even I, someone who holds this message very dear, am not good at the whole taking care of myself stuff. I don't think it would be too presumptive to assume I am not the only person in the sanctuary who struggles with this. Especially because I heard someone's like on the hospitality team, and then we got, all this. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Check on your strong friends because they probably need the most help and have the hardest time asking for it. I know, asking for help is hard, especially when you're supposed to be the person who is the rock for everyone around you. We each naturally have different strengths, different limitations, and we come into this community with the intention of sharing our lives with each other, and with the hope that, together, we can accomplish far more than we can alone. We gather here as a faith community because we are bound, not by a dogmatic creed or fear or hatred, but by a covenant of love with one another, and we covenant to do this work. We covenant to affirm and promote interdependence, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, justice, and, above all, love. Edward Everett Hale, another of our Unitarian forebears, once shared a standard he had set for himself. I think this is a standard that we can incorporate into our work so we can stay realistic, open, willing, and hopeful for the road ahead. I cannot do everything, but I can still do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do the something that I can do. So now, sitting with that, I invite you to join me in a time of reflection, in word and in silence. Close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so, and just sit. Take a deep breath in and hold it for a moment. Now release it slowly but powerfully, releasing any tension at the same time. Really come into your body. While continuing the deep breathing, I want you to pay attention to how your feet feel. Are they sore, tired, warm, cold? Make a mental note of these sensations, good or bad, and move up your body into your calves, and then your knees, and then your thighs. Notice your muscles and your joints. What are they trying to tell you? Continuing the breath, move up into your glutes, your hips, and your core. Just breathe and scan. Continue up to the chest, the shoulders, the neck. What are they carrying? What do they need? And finally, notice your head. Take one more deep breath and bring back that mental notepad of all these sensations. What is your body trying to tell you it needs in order to continue doing the good work? What can you do today or tomorrow to help address these needs and try to let it go? Let us reflect on that for just a moment. Amen, and blessed be. So now let's pause here and let's reflect on how we as UUs help and support one another. How can we support each other in deepening our learning and transformation, loving one another all the more? Certainly, one way is by listening to each other, as we do in our sharing of joys and gratitudes, concerns and sorrows. So now let's settle into our seats and give each other the moment of attention, the gift of attention. Now is the time for sharing how you're feeling, what is on your heart, what joys or gratitude you want to lift up, what pain or concern you want to ease through sharing. Let's create a circle of caring together. Would anyone like to share?
Hi, my name's Claire Dugan, and some of you know my husband Neil Geiger, who does the creative drawing stuff that you see. He has a very good friend named Bob Graham. They grew up in Pontiac, Michigan, and they went to middle school together, high school together, hung out at the bars together, and eventually Bob married a lovely lady named Sue. My husband calls her his lighthouse. And Bob called last month and said that Sue was going to have some surgery. Last week it was scheduled for. And my husband asked what it was, and he said, "I'm not telling you, you'll be too worried." And so about a week ago, he texted us and said, "Sue's out of surgery, she's in the ICU." And he texted 4 of his really good male buddies. Then we didn't hear anything, and the day before yesterday, my husband wrote and said, "I haven't heard from you, hope all's well." And he said, yes, Sue is still unconscious, I think deliberately. But he said, I'm going to rent a room for the week in Cincinnati. And the next morning, he called or texted and said, "Sue died this morning." And my husband said he lost his lighthouse. So keep Sue Graham in your thoughts today, please.
Would anyone else like to share?
Thank you, Audrey. We have a daughter named Audrey, and it's such a beautiful name. Thank you for what you said today. I'm celebrating an anniversary today. 50 years ago, I was diagnosed. It's not her. That was May 29th. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes 50 years ago today, and I've been taking insulin for exactly 50 years now. Technology, medical care have improved so much in my lifetime that I've lived longer than I ever expected to, and I expect to be here a lot longer. I want to celebrate the love from people, the empathy from doctors, and the wonderful technology that's made my life possible.
Good morning. I was moved to action last week by a story on NPR radio about the World Food Program and the crisis they're having in terms of being able to provide food to those starving around the world. The person speaking was the country coordinator for Afghanistan. And she was describing a situation where a mother and her daughter had come in asking for food. And this person had to tell her that based upon our level of funding, we are only able to provide food to those that are at risk of starving to death, and had to send that mother away with no food. There's a new director of the World Food Program is Liz Cheney, not Liz, Cheney, I forget her first name. And there's a real crisis going on where hundreds, even millions, are at risk of starvation in very real context. And so I think, at least for me, that was a call to action, and I would encourage anybody to do what they can in this area. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Billy Adams, and I want to thank you for that sermon this morning. It was just what I needed. And I also just want to say how much being a member of this organization, this fellowship, I appreciate individually all the people who work to keep it going, because we hang in together and work for it, so we have this space to come to on Sunday mornings. And welcome to all the visitors. We're glad to have you too.
Would anyone else like to share? Now let's take another deep cleansing breath and exhale. We invite stillness into this moment for the joys we join together in celebration, for the sorrows and concerns we feel empathy and compassion. For all that remains unspoken, may the caring of community offer a space of deep kindness and care.
As a meditation on the joys and sorrows we just heard, let us sing hymn number 121, We'll Build a Land, in the gray hymnal. Now it's time to receive your financial support, which we gratefully accept, so that we can continue the mission of San Gabriel in this world. Joe will be playing Amazing Grace, and I've Got Peace Like a River as our offertory music. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Yay, Joe. And a quick note, if you're a visitor, please do, as an offering, if you would just fill out your form, we do not need you to make a donation of cash. We'd just like to be in touch with you, and we're happy you're here. Thank you. We close our sacred time together when we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the chalice inside of our hearts, which serves as a beacon of hope, emboldened by its blaze. We are reminded that our strength as prophetic and powerful people is found when we come together at San Gabriel, which is here in Georgetown to stay, no matter what may come our way. That sounds like a song. I think we need to do that. All right, so now we are going to go to the peace pipe dedication. Okay. Hey, Michelle will lead the way.